Okay, step number 2, understanding business ownership. I want to talk to you a little bit about time and money. So basically, every business needs time and money. What does that mean? In order to be successful in a business, you need to invest time and money in your business, and I want to show you exactly what that means. So every business needs time and money. Okay, it takes about 3 to 5 years to build a successful business in any field. Specifically in real estate, and what we're trying to achieve here is going to take you about 3 to 5 years to build a real business, a predictable business, a business that makes you money year after year after year, and it's growing and it's expanding. I suggest you aim for a profitable business. So I know a lot of top producers that make $500,000 or $1 million a year, but they spend more than they make in order to sustain that level. In other words, an agent that does $500,000 a year spends $550,000 a year advertising his business, operating expenses, etc. So it's very important for you right from day one to aim for a profitable business, meaning lead with revenue. When you make money, you start investing in your business as you go along. Your business is growing, and that's the right way to do it. You should also aim for a predictable and reliable business outcomes. In other words, you want to build something that has great, strong foundation. You don't want to wing it. You don't want to just go out there and just wing it and whatever comes in, comes in. You want to be able to be predictable. You want to build a predictable and reliable business. Okay, real quick, let's touch money management. Every single time you get paid in real estate, okay, you got to make sure to do those 3 things that I'm showing you here. Number 1 is set aside 30% for tax purposes. You should talk to your accountant. I'm not an accountant. You should talk to your own accountant and ask specifically how much money you should set aside, but roughly, more or less, it's about 30% that you need to put aside every single time you get paid. Now, one of the biggest problems in our industry is that real estate agents, when they get paid, most agents already spend that money. So they owe the money before they even get paid. So I want to make sure that you're building it the right way. What does that mean? Every single time you get paid, 30% goes to a separate bank account to pay your taxes at the end of the year. And then number 2, you need to set aside about 15 to 20% for advertising budget. You have to promote your business. In order to build a business, you have to set aside 15 to 20% of every single check you're getting. That's going to go on a separate bank account. And from that bank account, you're going to pay all of your advertising and promotions and branding efforts. It's very important you do that. Number 3 is optional. I suggest everybody to give 10% to charity. So 10% of what's left after you took out the 30% for taxes, whatever is left at that moment, you take 10% of that and you put it on a side for charity of your choice, whatever it is that you feel connected to and you wish to give charity to. The conclusion is only 40% is really your money to enjoy it. And the majority of agents, when they get paid, I know agents that made $20,000 on a deal and the following day they had no more money in their bank account. It makes no sense whatsoever to run your business that way. You have to budget yourself, you need to calculate every single dime coming in, and you need to behave as if you are a business and not as if you are a worker in a company. You have to shift your mind from being a self-employee or an employee into the mind of a business owner. All right, next, every business needs systems, tools, and people to operate those systems and tools. You need to build systems and tools. It takes time to do that. You need to dedicate yourself. You need to have the knowledge and the money to know exactly how to do it. In addition to that, you also need to hire the right people. Okay, and hiring the right people takes time, dedication, knowledge, and money. So you really need to invest money, you need to invest time, you need to educate your employees, you need to train them, you need to put together systems and tools and all that stuff. Building the business, you need to build the systems, the tools, you need to create procedures. For example, a phone call comes in. What happens to the phone call? What happens to the lead? Okay, then after the first call, what happens? What's the lead follow-up system? Okay, then you need to send some email. You need to send some mail. You got to put them in your database. You got to do certain things. So you need to create those procedures within your business. What happens at every single step? You need to build an organizational structure. You got to interview the right people. So you're going to interview a lot of people. When you start hiring people, you need to basically go through many, many different resumes. You got to give them the DIS test, which I'm going to teach you. And you want to know exactly which personality they fit. And you want to hire the right people to your team. In other words, you're not going to hire someone with a profile that doesn't fit the position. We're going to talk about all that stuff as we go along with the program. Training people is an investment of time and money. And then you got to hold them accountable to do the things you're teaching them to do, and eventually get to a point that you're replacing yourself. So if you're in a position right now that you're a one-man show or one-woman show, in other words, you are a single agent working on your own, you don't have any team members, you don't have any assistants, and at that level you got to do everything yourself. So you got to start slowly replacing yourself by hiring the right people, plugging in systems, tools, and all that stuff. So on the path to financial freedom, you must understand, and you need to be willing to understand, that it takes time. It's going to take you 3 to 5 years. You got to invest from now going forward. If you follow my program, it's going to take you 3 to 5 years to create a 6 to 7 figures income that comes in every single year, growing, but you got to follow it, and you need to understand it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen tomorrow morning. Okay, number 2, you need to be willing to invest the time needed. All right, so it's not enough to know that it takes time. You need to be willing to invest the time needed. So you understand, okay, it's a process. It's going to take me time. I got to calculate my expenses. I need to calculate everything. I have to think about it like a business. Number 3 is be prepared financially to sustain yourself and your business. So if you know, for example, that it costs you, let's say, $50,000 a year to sustain your lifestyle. All right, and then your business, you need another, let's say, 60, 70,000 to run your business the right way, hiring a part-time assistant, paying for promotions and all that stuff, setting aside money for taxes and all the stuff we spoke about. We're already at $120,000, $130,000, $150,000 a year that you need to make net after you pay a broker. So you got to be prepared. Okay, number 4, become a student of the industry, meaning you need to really study. And it's not enough that you go and take one course or you listen to one program. You really need to become a student of the industry, meaning you need to take different courses, different trainings. You need to continuously invest yourself, study, understand where you are. There's always the next level. And then number 5 is be coachable and hire someone to hold you accountable. You need to hire a coach. You need to hire someone else. Maybe your broker wants to do it for you if you can't afford a coach. But I can tell you one thing for sure. When I started my career, okay, after 2 years in the business of struggling and working very hard to make money, I decided to hire a coach, and it was an expense. I paid $1,000 every month, which at that level was very difficult for me to do financially, but I had to take that step. And when I took that step, I brought myself to the next level. So it's not when you make the money you hire them, it's when you hire them you start making the money. Think about that. All right, you need to make a commitment to change some of your behaviors, things you do normally. Maybe they're not really productive. You need to start changing your behaviors. You need to make a commitment to change some of your habits and get some other habits that are more profitable. You need to be more flexible and versatile. You got to be coachable and open-minded, and then you need to remove your ego. And I wrote down, yes, you have one. We all have egos, and the ego normally will stand in your way of success. We'll talk about it as we go along, doing all these different training programs. But you need to remember something. Your ego was created in order to protect you, but you don't always need to be protected. And in many ways, the ego is standing between you and success, and we're going to talk about that. For example, when we talk about versatility, in order for you to be versatile, you got to remove yourself from the equation. So, for example, if you're a driver and you're meeting with an amiable who is very intimidated by drivers, you got to put yourself in their shoes, and you got to become versatile. You need to really change the way you behave while you are with other people. This is an advanced skill that I talk about in the listing presentation boot camps and the other live training events that I do. Always stay humble, consistently seek to grow. So you're always looking to grow, you're always keeping an open mind, always be coachable, and surround yourself with positive people. Okay, great. Let's go to step number 3.